Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari assures Nigerians of free and fair elections in 2019, having been a beneficiary of a free election himself. People with disabilities in Osun State want INEC to introduce measures to allow them take part in electoral processes. One person killed, 11 others injured after a church building collapses at Ogolo, Delta State. And a suicide attack in the Somali capital, Mogadishu, leaves 3 soldiers dead and 14 others injured. We begin tonight from faraway China, where President Muhammadu Buhari today assured Nigerians that the 2019 elections will not only be free and fair, but that he will accept the results of the exercise. The president, who gave this assurance while speaking with members of the Nigerian community in China, says having been a beneficiary of a free and fair election, he will not do anything to undermine a credible conduct come 2019. According to President Muhammadu Buhari, I have no fear about free and fair elections because that is what brought me to the present position. I know what I went through, and very few Nigerians could boast of trying 4 times. Those interested in participating in the elections must get their PVCs, register in their constituency, and elect anybody of their choice across ethnicity and religion. End of quote. President Buhari cites recent elections in Bauchi, Katsina, and Kogi states as pointers to what should be expected in the general election. And staying with the 2019 elections, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu is also calling for peaceful election campaigns across the nation ahead of the polls. He said this during a meeting with stakeholders at the party in Enugu West Senatorial Zone. Mr. Ekweremadu is also asking party faithful and supporters to shun violence and focus on proper representation instead.
Going to election, I just want to plead that, as always, we should be civil about it. We should do everything possible to ensure that we don't overheat the political space, especially in our zone. So what we can plead with them is that don't bring any calamity to our people. In my whole political career, I have not lost one person in any election, not one person. So if anything happens in 2019, we will know whom to hold responsible. That's right. But by the grace of God, nothing happened to any of us. So it is for this kind of a thing that I was also recommending to other politicians to keep in touch with their people so that they can stay in public office as long as they want. Not that any person can be in public service or any place because of his own power. It takes the grace of God and the support of people like you to keep somebody like me in Senate for all these years.
Tension and a sense of insecurity prevail in the oil-rich town of Pt.1 in Brass local government area of Bayelsa State after 2 youths were killed in a violent incident. The Bayelsa State government has since imposed a dusk-to-dawn curfew in the town, and its traditional rulers are seeking legitimate ways to bring about sustainable solution.
The usually placid island community of Pt.1 in Bayelsa State is no longer at ease. While some of the residents are relocating following a violent clash between youths of 2 rival political parties, those who stay behind are assailed by a sense of fearful anticipation. Some of the lucky youths are receiving treatment for various injuries sustained in the clash, which claimed the lives of 2 of them. The leaders of the town are very concerned about what transpired.
The major problem is we try to arrest a kidnapper. He was arrested and locked him up here, and they sent him to Unagua. They get the boy now. Send him to Unagua. Now the chairman and his group went and then released this boy. Aside from the human toll, various personal property were damaged, including a vehicle belonging to a former chairman of the Pt.1 Council of Chiefs.
These things that has happened, it's not something that we will just take lightly. People have died. And the most important thing that we need to do in order to maintain peace in Pt.1 is to arrest the perpetrators and their sponsors. You understand? People kill those boys that are dead. And those people that killed them must be brought to, because the law must take its course. The rule of law must prevail. Nobody is above the law.
In order to ensure that lasting peace is restored in the community, the police command, led by the State Commissioner of Police, is already working on a strategy.
In response to this challenge, the police command has begun the development of strategies specifically targeted at dealing with these crimes and making our communities safer. We hope to achieve this in synergy, cooperation and support of other security agencies and the law-abiding members of the public.
Political activities are yet to reach the peak of intensity, but if the Twom Brass incident is a pointer to what to expect in the run-up to the 2019 polls, security services already have their work cut out for them.
The race for the governorship of Rivers State has begun to heat up as the sitting governor Nyesom Wike has declared his intention to run a second term. The governor, who was received by the leaders and members of 1 million youths for New Rivers State for the commissioning of their secretariat in Port Harcourt, explained that the youths represent the largest voting population in the state and have the capacity to determine what happens in the 2019 governorship election. Governor Wike, who believes he has done his homework and is prepared for the polls, will be counting on his developmental strides in the past 3 years for his chances. He's also called on security agencies and INEC to be neutral.
They should know that we are prepared, and no amount of intimidation will make anybody to withdraw. And I want to tell you, yes, Rivers West Electoral District, Rivers East Electoral District, Rivers South East Electoral, all have had rallies urging me to come to run. I said I was going to give them the feedback after consultation. But today I'm here with the youth. Today I'm here with the youth, and it is you that will determine what will happen in 2019. And so anything outside you will not work. And so I want to tell you, all of you, I'm prepared for that election.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. Persons living with physical disabilities in Osun State are asking for inclusion in the process that will determine the winners of future elections in the state. Speaking under the umbrella body of people with disabilities, the group and some civil society groups expressed their displeasure over what they describe as marginalization in previous elections in the state. They are therefore appealing to the Independent National Electoral Commission to provide an enabling platform for such people to participate in the forthcoming polls. Apparently feeling deprived of their right to actively engage in the voting process due to physical constraints, these people with disabilities are here to press home their demand for their voting rights to be recognized and also to be given a support platform to ensure that they are not denied their civic responsibility.
We want to implore the INEC to include the interpreter to interpret for the hearing impaired at the polling unit where they are registering or their office.
Every one of us has our feelings and our emotion. So you have feelings, you have emotion for a particular candidate that is different from mine, and I think I trust you. You get there, I tell you, do this for party A or party B, you do something else. So you cannot actually trust anybody.
According to the PWDs, the number of physically challenged accounts for over 25 million of Nigeria's population. They argue that to have a credible election, Nigeria cannot afford to disenfranchise such a substantial number.
We're going to pilot the use of the Braille ballot guide for people with visual impairment. So I want to say that Access Nigeria is already making huge steps, huge milestones in addressing the issues of these barriers that 29.7 million Nigerians with disabilities face.
If they change the architecture in such a way that after thumbprinting secretly, dropping it, you don't have to do it openly or display it. If they want to do that, I think INEC has a lot to do. What the police can do is to get people who are perpetrating this act of buying, which is a scourge, is a menace, is a monster. If we are serious about democracy, we must all rise up and fight it now.
Ahead of the September 22nd governorship election in Osun State, the Independent Electoral Committee assures that all concerns will be addressed, while also promising to ensure credible poll.
The voter ensure that he has already voted the ballot before coming out of the room. Anyone caught displaying that ballot paper will be advised to go back and vote properly or be arrested.
With the consensus reached by all stakeholders on the recognition of the political rights of the people with disabilities, expectations are high that they will be able to exercise their franchise at future elections without any hindrance. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has dragged the Independent National Electoral Commission to court over what it describes as the Commission's failure to prosecute alleged vote buyers in the Ekiti State governorship election. Among SERAP's concerns is INEC's alleged failure to do anything about allegations of vote buying by both the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party during the election. The suit filed at the Federal High Court in Lagos follows the electoral umpire's response to SERAP last week, saying that while it had powers to prosecute alleged vote buyers, it lacked the powers to arrest and investigate suspects. The organization is also seeking an order compelling INEC and its chairman to prosecute anyone suspected to be involved in the alleged vote buying during the elections in Ekiti, Anambra, Edo, and Ondo states. In a statement, SERAP's Deputy Director, Timothy Adewale, says INEC has no reason whatsoever not to comply with SERAP's request, as the Commission has constitutional and statutory responsibilities to prosecute bribery and undue influence in the context of elections and other electoral offences. No date has been fixed for hearing of the suit. One person has been confirmed dead in Delta State following the collapse of a church building in Ugolo, Ope local government area. The building reportedly came crashing down with worshippers inside during Sunday morning service. About 11 people who sustained injuries were rushed to the hospital. 7 of them have been discharged, while 4 others are still undergoing treatment. The Delta State governor has directed that adequate medical attention be given to the survivors of the tragedy, also promising to take care of the bills for the medical treatment. According to the state government, the building was erected 100 years ago, and the structure fell under the pressure of ongoing renovation aimed at expanding the church.
We heard a noise from the wall, boom, and that is all. Everybody took to his heel and ran out. After the incident, we rescue those that we can rescue at the moment, at that time. After that, my son has not been seen. We searched for him, and at the end, he died. We rushed him to hospital and he died.
Nigeria's security challenges can be tackled effectively if the country adopts community policing or state police. That's the opinion of the former leader of the People's Democratic Party in the Senate and now chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Godswill Akpabio. The former governor of Akwa Ibom State told Channels Television's Ladi Akeredoluale on our special political program, Roadmap 2019, that the idea of community policing must come with some conditions.
We have to do it in a way that we do not give a weapon to the so-called those who may call those in authority, right. So that they will not use it to abuse it. So I think that we must have a lot of checks and balances, and then bring up a legislation that will ensure that whoever is in charge, whether you are the chief executive, you are saddled with that responsibility, that you don't use it to go after your opponents. And then we should also ensure that we don't bring out half-baked trainees You know,
which is why there must be a common standard.
Yes. So then you'll be having a lot of accidental discharge and here and there because of the fact that the people are not well trained in handling weapons.
For the full interview with Senator Akpabio, do watch Roadmap tomorrow, September 3rd, 2018 at 9 p.m. right here on Channels Television. In part two, after the break, governors of southeast states seek intervention of the federal government over Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu. Stay with us.